I don't know if I told this story on this channel because it's relatively recent, because something just recently happened to me. So earlier this year, I did work for somebody who is a wealth manager. If you don't know what that is, that job title or whatever, it's a professional who works with high net worth clients and manages their investments, their taxes, retirement, estates, financial success plans, and they coordinate with like accountants on behalf of the client, right? This is basically somebody who's a full-blown manager for rich people and their money, right? To keep it simple. So I did work with him way earlier this year. I made him a website and I currently maintain it still to this day. He pays me a certain amount per month to manage and maintain the expenses to the website, right? And I own several servers around the United States. And here's my sale pitch for Aku, right? This is what I be doing. So instead of going through GoDaddy or other services, just go through me. You get web hosting, security, web design, infinite custom emails, DDoS protection, domain protection, and you get direct access to me. You could call me anytime during the day. You get the full package here at the Aku Anime. Well, not the Aku Anime, but if I'm maintaining your website or whatever, right? And this is how I make some of my money, by the way. I do this for multiple people. So there was a time I did work with this guy, the wealth manager, and one day he was like, yo, come to this golf course or whatever. I forgot what it's called, the private golf courses or something, right? Like the invite only stuff. And man, I showed up there. I think I was the only black guy ever to walk on that field, because boy, when I went there, white people everywhere. Not a single tan of any sort. Be like, bro, I thought I walked into an Illuminati party or something. I don't know. But the guy, the wealth manager, obviously these are his clients. I don't play golf, by the way, but I was just there, and he was like, the wealth manager guy, he was like, yo, that guy. And he pointed at this guy who was golfing with a few of his friends, I assume, right? He pointed at this guy. He's like, yo, that guy, I've been trying to make him my client for what feels like years now. But I don't know. I call him all the time. I feel like I'm pressuring him too much. Yo, go ahead and meet him and maybe even try to convince him to be my client. And he laughed sarcastically after that. But I could tell he wasn't being sarcastic. He really wants to be a client. So I was like, I mean, all right, I'll meet him. I'll talk to him. Like, it's kind of weird just going up to people who are golfing and just like talking to them. So I don't know. Anyway, so I walked up to them. I don't know what I said, but they all liked me. The guy who he wanted to be as a client, right? Come to find out, he's an executive at a tech company. I'm not going to say which company because I don't want to dox him, but it's a very popular company. I think everyone knows this company too. And we were chopping it up, him and I, right? With him and his golf buddies, right? And we were all talking about tech stuff. And actually, I'm going to make another video talking about some of the stuff he shared with me, because I know some of you guys watching are in the tech field or want a career in there, want to learn coding and all this other stuff, whatever, right? He gave me some valuable advice and game. I'll share with y'all, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it was a good talk. We kept talking and until we ended up making it back to my friend, the wealth manager. And the guy said, when we showed up, right? The guy, the client, the potential client was like saying to my friend, the wealth manager guy, he's like, yo, you know this guy, Andre? This kid is smart and he's funny as hell. And my friend is like, yeah, he's my webmaster. And he responds, oh, so you guys do business. If these are the type of people you're working with, I got some people who may need someone to manage their finances, who may need some stuff as well. So basically, long story short, we didn't get the guy to the guy who we were talking about. We didn't get him to be the client, right? But he actually got 4 different phone numbers, and later on turned out to be clients for my friend, the wealth manager guy. So now he's managing 4 people, and my friend was like, yo, I don't know how you did that, but I spoke to them and somehow you convinced them to work with me. I'm like, how? All I did was talk to them about computers and coding and AI and all this stuff. It was like a normal conversation. And he said, well, you're a talker, you're friendly, and you're tough. And I'm like, I don't know about all of that. Actually, I think I'm the opposite of those. I am not a talker, except on YouTube. I don't think I'm friendly or approachable. I still have my face tattoo, so I definitely don't fit these circles, especially in this golf course, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? At this golf club or whatever. I told y'all, like, listen, hey, I'm not tough, by the way, too. I'm emotional. I be crying over everything. I'm very sensitive, okay? So, boom, time goes forward. I get a call from the wealth manager guy, my friend. I think he is, right? He's like, yo, Andre, come meet us in Manhattan. Here's the address. The guys who you met at the golf course, they were asking about you. And I was thinking, let's all go out and get some dinner. So, boom, I showed up for dinner, right? I went to Manhattan, drove, so whatever, right? And the same people from the golf course were there. And there were other people who I didn't know as well. And this restaurant was really fancy, man. Some of these restaurants, high-end restaurants in Manhattan, everything on the menu is like 3 times the cost of what you would get at any other place, and they always give you these small portions. So man, I was like, this place is high fancy. It's like very expensive, luxurious, and I feel like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I was being, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's weird for me to explain this. I feel like I'm a rookie and I'm sort of being bossed around by the veterans. Does this make sense? Let me explain to why I feel this way. Well, first of all, I felt that way at the golf course too, because these guys are all way older than me, make 200 times more money than me, have way more wisdom. They know how to socialize. And I feel like I'm a little dog. I'm a peon compared to these guys, right? And they were really tough about how they, with how they spoke, you know? They were very intense. They weren't rude to me, but it was very like, I don't want to say alpha, but it was very manly, you know? And it made me a bit uncomfortable because I'm not very manly. It felt like I was in a room, even though it was a golf course, I felt like I was in a room filled with wolves, you know? And that's how I felt when I went to this dinner place at Manhattan too. And my friend, he's like, he was introducing me to some of these people, or like we were talking to these guys, and he was like, yo, you met Andre? Yo, watch this. And this is what I was talking about, where I'm feeling like I'm being rookied or something, or I'm being kind of like pushed around, right? I can't find the word. He's like, yo, you met Andre? Yo, watch this. Andre, here's 5 of my business cards. You see those people at that table across the restaurant over there? Go up to them and get their numbers, because they could make potential clients. And he pulls out his phone, right? And he puts a timer on it. You got 3 minutes. I'm like, Rocky? So I took the business cards and I power walked across the restaurant to this table of people I didn't know. And again, I don't know what I did, but I got their numbers in less than 3 minutes. And I was able to get their business cards, or not get their, I was able to give out the business cards. And 2 of the people at that table walked over with me back to our table to talk business with my friend, the wealth manager guy. And it later turned out one of those 2 became clients. And I guess somehow I have this superpower to sell things to people. I know nothing about sales, but this is the second time now this happened. Now, again, this was a while ago. Last week, moving forward, now we're in like the present day. Last week, I got a phone call from my friend. He's like, yo, Andre, listen, how do you feel about coming to the office and working the clients? Do the data entry, call up on leads, assist with operations. And I'm like, Brad, you want me to sit in an office all day and make phone calls? I think I'll pass, bro. And he's really trying to convince me. He's like, look, you'll make some extra money. You can still handle your businesses on the side, just a few days a week. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't got the charisma like that. I'm not social. You want me to talk for hours with a bunch of rich people on the phone for your wealth management business? That's crazy. Like, what do I know about finances? For real. Well, for real, what do I, you know that meme of Kanye West talking about, like, I think Lady Gaga, what does she know about cameras? Well, what do I know about money? Like, bro, I'll pass respectfully. I don't got the skill set for this. I'm just going to ruin your business. You know what I'm saying? All these leads that you get, I'm just going to screw it all up. I don't know nothing about money, bro. I can't talk money with people who actually make good money. Like, I can't talk to rich people about money. You know what I'm saying? So I declined. I said, no, I'm not doing this. He calls me again this morning as I'm recording this video. He says the same thing. Andre, I'm telling you, after what you did those 2 times, remember that? Yeah, at the restaurant and at the golf course, yo, you talk so poorly about yourself. You are very friendly. You are tough. And you are great at talking with people. And I'm telling him, nah, I'm not, bruh. Who are you confusing me with? And he's like, look, try it out. You just need to put in a few hours a week. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But the experience will be good. And look, I'll pay you $40 an hour, excluding the bonuses. So come into the office a few times a week, sit here for like 3 hours or so on the phone talking to people, 40 hours, $40 an hour. And look, you'll learn my work. This is how I got in the industry. I didn't go to college. I don't have a master. I don't have any degree. I'm a wealth manager. But I started off being an assistant for somebody, answering phone calls and leads and managing portfolios for somebody. And But this is how I got into it. Yo, I used to drive into work in a Lamborghini, and I was just answering phone calls like I'm trying to make you do. And I was like, that's impossible. How you driving to work in a Lamborghini and like in a Porsche and all this stuff, and you were making like he told me on the phone, he said on the worst days, he would bring in $4,000 a month. The worst months he would bring for it. And on good months, it would be like 20K plus. I was like, you want me to sit on the phone and talk to rich people and somehow $40 an hour and somehow I'll make up like $20,000 a month? That's cap. He's like, well, that's not how it necessarily works. I'm talking about I'll pay you for the time you spend on the phone. Whenever you successfully get leads and we make money, you'll make money. So I was like, oh, so that's bonus money. So I was like, all right. So now it's looking a little bit different here. Okay. So, so look. But he was saying like this is an opportunity for you. And P.S. this guy, he makes a lot of money, right? He's definitely making too much money. It's like over 150K a year or something like that. Obviously the skills depend on how many clients he has. But like he said, try it out. And if you like this and it works, maybe you can start managing stuff too. And I could teach you things about finance. And then eventually, maybe you could be your own manager. Maybe we could do something else. So I said, you know what? I think, see, this guy is such a salesman. See, he's a salesman. I feel like I'm wrapped around his fingers here. He got me because now he starts talking about bread. He's talking about like making some big money and stuff like this. So I'm now like, dang, now he got me. So I said, you know what? I'll try it. I'll go into the office a few days a week for a couple hours. I guess if I don't make any leads or anything or whatever, I'll bring home $120 a week. You know, I'll learn some stuff about finances, which could benefit me, you know, because I don't know anything about money. And I could also manage my businesses on the side too and make some money off of that. And I was thinking to myself, okay, you know what? If it doesn't work out or I don't like this, then it's okay. I'm a tech guy, okay? I know how to work with computers. I'm not a financial expert, okay? But the opportunity, I could learn and make this a lifetime worth of experiences and knowledge about finances. So I could learn how to manage my money. So I could do this and that. I also started to think, maybe if this does go well, or, you know, I was thinking like, I don't know how to explain this. I was like, I shouldn't be so against following the path I wanted to originally follow. Like I have a skill set in computers, right? Technology, coding, all this stuff, cybersecurity, whatever. That's where I'm at. That's my skill set. That's me. What's wrong with trying new things? What's wrong with doing something else or learning another skill set that I'm not used to or I'm not comfortable with? And also, maybe I am doubting myself and my low self-esteem is restricting me. Why am I refusing to lock into something that can earn me a lot more money, you know? Like, but I think I'm starting to learn, and what I wanted to share as the moral of the story to today's video was, you notice a pattern in my story here? I had doubt in myself. I had self-doubt, and I pushed my self-doubt and pride to the side, because pride is one of the biggest things here. My self-doubt and my pride, I pushed it to the side because I felt like I was getting rookied and it was hurting my ego. And I went in and I did good. The point is, sometimes you can't let your pride or your own self-doubt cause you to not see what you can potentially do it yourself. You don't know how good you will be at something until you genuinely try it. And that's the problem I had my whole life. There's so many things I wish I did, or I gave up on, or didn't even try, right? Because my own self-esteem and my pride didn't want me to go through certain stages or do certain things. Always give yourself a chance. Take the opportunity. That's the moral of the story. If there's a learning opportunity or some other opportunity, then try it. It doesn't matter if you're trash at it, bruh. There's a learning opportunity for everyone here. If it doesn't work after trying it out and you don't see any benefit coming from this, you're not learning anything or whatever, then put it down. That happens to people. You never know what you're good at until you see it in action. And some people, this is another issue. Some people, this is where pride comes in and ego as well. Some people, they think they're good at stuff, but they never put it into action. So maybe try to put it into action, you know? Why didn't you lock in? Try locking in. Anyway, this is a story all about how, I don't know how to, I don't got a rhyme for you today. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.